blinding though. It's very like bright. I'm starting this video standing up, but I should probably sit because this is gonna take a while. What am I doing? I don't even know how to record anymore. Alright, we're just gonna do it and we're gonna see on a scale of 1 to complete disaster how this video turns out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sierra Stylish channel and welcome to a new video. So today's video I have somewhat of a plan. I have a semblance of a plan for, okay? So we're gonna see how this goes. The last year of my life has been very interesting in a lot of ways, and I kind of just wanted to pick up my camera, do something bookish, but also talk about my life as of lately. So here's the plan for today's video. So if you're on my channel last fall, somewhere between September and November, I think, I did this video called Painting My Book Edges, and I also did a tag or some kind of questionnaire video type of idea, and we're just gonna sit down and I'm going to paint and I'm going to talk, and I'm gonna hope that I can keep this video not too long. Alright, so without further ado, I'm gonna sit at my desk and reposition my camera and we'll get started. Alright, so here's the setup that I think we're going to work with for this video today. Unfortunately, this is probably the only time that you'll see this setup because of things that I will talk about in a minute. But let's show you all what I'm working with today. So I picked out 3 books that I want to go ahead and paint the edges of. They're all hardbacks just because I think that's easier. One of which I actually did the first book. I should go grab it. I'm gonna do Girls of Storm and Shadow. This is the second book to Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nung. I actually painted Girls of Paper and Fire purple, and you know what, let me just grab it real quick. Okay, so here's Girls of Paper and Fire. As you can see, I painted the edges purple, and one of the big lessons that I learned when I painted my book edges from the video that I did last fall is that the pages will actually end up sticking together. I don't know if there's a way to fix that. What I ended up doing to get this to be okay is I literally just pulled apart every single page as I was reading, which is a little tedious, but as you can see, like, the paint stayed pretty good on the edges. It didn't really like bleed onto the pages at all. I'm painting Girls of Paper, or Girls of Storm and Shadow. I plan on painting this one blue because the cover is more blue. Okay, so the second book is similar in color, and it is Victories Greater Than Death. I actually just got this book. Actually, I bought this book because of its cover, and yeah. But this one is more purple than Girls of Storm and Shadow, so I think I'm going to try to make this like a lilac purple. And last but not least, I actually just, by the time I'm recording this, I had just posted my review for this book. This is Fat Chance Charlie Vega. It's by Crystal Maldonado, and if you want to know my thoughts on it, you can go check out my blog. I did a whole review on it. But I picked this book because, first of all, I really liked it, and second of all, it's very different in color to the other 2 books. But yeah, so those are all 3 of the books that I plan on painting, so let me show you the paint that I got. Alright, so here's the paint that I'm going to be using in today's video. It's like a 12-piece acrylic paint set from Michaels. I got this for like, I think $6. And yeah, so we're going to be using this. I'm going to open it up right now and see how I can try to mix the colors. So here's a close-up of all of the colors. Let's see if my camera will focus. There we go. So we've got like black, we've got a dark brown, an orange, which I'm hoping will work with Fat Chance Charlie Vega. We've got a lighter blue, which might actually blend in nicely for Victories Greater Than Death. We've got a darker blue, we've got a green, a darker green, a like blood red. This is like an orange red color here. We've got this like marigold yellow, a brighter kind of neon yellow, and then white. Disclaimer, I also know nothing about painting. I don't know if I said that before, but I just picked up a random paintbrush because there's a bunch of different kinds of Michaels. I got this one. It's like a round top, and I just decided that it looked like the easiest thing to paint like a very straight surface. Don't come for me, I do not know anything about painting. I literally just wanted to do something pretty mindless, talk about books, and also my life. And last but not least, for the supplies of today's video, I have just like a regular paper plate so that I can put the paints on the paint, mix them, and go from there. So yeah. Alright, and for this video, I think I actually want to start with Fat Chance Charlie Vega just because it is the color that's most different from the other 2 books that I have picked out, and I'm very excited to try to mix these like orangey red paints that I have to try to get something close to this color of the cover. So let's start, and hopefully I don't ruin my books. I know nothing about paint and how to make colors work. So if you are screaming at me because you're a paint mixer and you're like, what the hell is she doing? I'm sorry. I am sorry that I stressed you out. But I don't know what I'm doing. I just wanted to talk to you all, do something that involves books, but mostly talk about life updates and kind of explain why I've been gone all of summer and early in the spring. It's just been a mess. Pour this onto the thing. Oh, this is actually like a darker orange than I thought it was going to be. Alright, I got a little cup of water and I just kind of dipped this paintbrush in it. So now I'm going to kind of like mix these two together and see what kind of color it creates. So let's find out. I have no idea if this is the way that I should mix paints or if I should have done something a little bit more strategic, but we're just going to mix this for a little bit and I'll show you what I come up with. Okay, so I mixed vermilion and burnt sienna and a little bit of titanium white, and I came up with this shade of orange, which is pretty light. The top cover of this book has kind of like a gradient. It kind of goes from like a more red orange to a more bright orange. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera or reflect. We're going to go with this, and I'm going to start talking about what the heck has been going on in my life. Alright, so let's start with a fun update. So the reason that I started this video by saying that you probably won't see the setup again, or this will be the first and only time you see the setup, is because I am getting ready to go back to college. So we're going to put the first brush strokes in as I am talking about this. Actually I'm going to take the dust jacket off so I don't lose my grip on the book. But so anyway, if you have been on my channel before I went on this unplanned hiatus of mine for like the last 5 months or so, you will know that I go to school at Oregon State University. I am a rising senior, which is freaking crazy. And I'm also from Southern California, so I'm currently at home. I have been home for the last year and a half because of COVID. I was thinking about this the other day when I was having a conversation with someone, but when the pandemic started, I was finishing my sophomore year of college. So I finished my sophomore year of college from my childhood home, childhood room, and I'm going back to college as a senior. I left college, like my campus, as a finishing up sophomore, and I am going back as a rising senior. That is insane. So anyway, the fun update is that I am getting ready to go back to school, and I think that has given me some kind of motivation to get back into recording booktube videos. Just being back on campus and having a routine and having something to do every single day is making me so excited to just like pick up my camera and start documenting my life again. So that's kind of where my head is at now. Anyway, so with that update out of the way, I did finish the first side of this book, so you can kind of see it's very pigmented. It's a very vibrant orange. I like the way that it looks so far. Let me grab the cover. I want to see, does it match up? Did I make a mistake? Did I ruin this book? I mean, if I ruined it, at least I've already read it, so like, you know. Okay, so it definitely does not completely match this. Like I said, the cover is more of like a red orangey. I could try to put more of this vermilion color in it, or maybe even the darker red, but I'm scared that it's gonna ruin it and then it won't look the same. So I don't know, I might just leave it. Alright, I'm gonna do the other bottom part of the book first, and then we'll do the long version, like the long side of the book. So here goes nothing. So yeah, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I guess I should talk a little bit about why the heck I left in the first place, which is kind of weird. It's a weird thing for me to talk about online, and I think, I don't think I mentioned this. I actually bought all of the things that I wanted, like all the material for doing this video back in July. I bought everything on July 15th, and I had every intention of recording this video in July. However, in July, I was in a different mindset than I am now, and there were things that were more important to me then that aren't as important to me now. So I think some part of me, like the higher, more conscious part of myself was like, no, you cannot record this video because you know what you want to talk about, and what you want to talk about it might not be the time to talk about it. But some months have passed, and I feel like I can finally talk about this in a way that isn't going to turn into me either crying or saying too much. Those of you that also didn't know, I was in a long-term, long-distance relationship. I actually had a video on my channel, a planner video of me doing like rehashing a week that he came out to visit me in California. We were in a relationship for 5.5 years, so it was a really big deal, and I was very proud of the relationship that we had built, and I was very proud of, you know, just like that whole situation. However, as I am speaking in the past tense, it is very evident that that relationship has now come to an end. And that was the big upset of my life that started around last fall that really kind of threw me off in a lot of aspects of my life, and BookTube was no exception to that. The beginning of the end of my relationship had started around August of last year, and I think for a while I was trying to pull through and like still record and like not let it affect things that like my hobbies and my interests, but after a certain amount of time, like, you know, when you're going through something that is chronically stressful and you're putting so much emotional energy into a situation in your life, like you just don't have the energy to show up for other things in your life. And really quick, I just want to say thank you to the people that had reached out to me during that time who were checking on me, because they were saying like, hey Sierra, you haven't posted, like what happened, are you okay? And a few people knew ahead of time that things were starting to go south. The few people here on BookTube that like I talk to on and off again and I trust, so thank you to the people that did DM me and check on me. That's the TLDR of that situation. And I think if I would have tried to record this video in July when I bought all this stuff and wanted to do this video, it would have turned out very differently. I think I'm finally at a point in like the healing process where I'm able to just be like, yeah, it happened, and I'm doing much better now, obviously, and I think I really did need to wait that amount of time to be able to even talk about it and say like that's what happened. Quick intermission, I did finish the other parts of the book, so we have both of the ends done, and now I guess I'll move on to this part. But yeah, so that was a real big upset that caused me to just kind of like put BookTube on the back burner, and also just school and work, like, but those things are pretty manageable. It was really just like the emotional turmoil that I was going through as that relationship was ending. That relationship officially ended last April, so I have been healing from it all summer, and I am very, very happy with how I have healed. Like, the smile on my face is very genuine. It was not like that in the beginning though. When things first ended, honestly, I thought it was gonna kill me. But I survived, and I'm very happy. I've had a lot of adventures this summer, so that kind of brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about during this video. Moving on completely. My summer did not like just fall to the wayside because that situation ended. This summer, in July, I turned 21. Not only did I turn 21, but my best friend turned 21 as well. So
Hi, Editing Sierra here. I am realizing that I completely failed to mention this, and it's really important. So for my best friend's 21st birthday, we actually got matching tattoos. I got my first tattoos ever this summer. We got matching ones. We have a cow, the face of a cow on our legs. His name is Miguel. And she got a sun, and I got a crescent moon, and I will insert pictures here. And it was a 21st birthday present from her mom because her mom's a tattoo artist. I just wanted to put that in because if she watches this video and I don't mention it, she will kill me. So I said it. Okay, keep enjoying the video.
For my birthday, I rented an Airbnb with my two best friends, and we were in San Diego for the night. We went out, definitely had some alcoholic beverages for the first time in my life ever, and I just had a really good birthday. And honestly, part of the reason that I'm very, very happy with the fact that my relationship had ended this year is because if my relationship didn't end, I probably would have spent my birthday in a way that was not as memorable as the way that I actually spent it. Okay, so I'm kind of halfway done through this part, but I'm running out of paint, so I'm going to go ahead and mix some more paint and just finish this, and I will come back and show you this book with the cover on it once the paint is done. Alright, so I'm finished painting Thatchin's Charlie Vega. So as you can see, here's the side, here's the top, and here's the bottom. I'm actually going to set a water bottle on top of this for a little bit while it dries, just so it doesn't dry awkwardly. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Alright, so I think next up we're going to do Victories Greater Than Death, just because I am dying to try to get a purple out of this like lighter blue and dark red. So we're going to see how this comes out. I got this book while I was shopping with my sister the other day. Here's what it looks like naked. I'm gonna go ahead and mix these together and see what I come up with, and hopefully it's something close to purple. Alright, so that's definitely purple, but definitely too dark, so I'm gonna add in some white and see if I can get that lighter. after some mixing, we got it to this kind of shade of purple, which I think, honestly, let me put this brush down real quick. I think this makes a pretty good match for the cover. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start painting the top side of this book, and we're gonna start talking about the next update that I want to give you all. So I think I might have minorly lied to you all a little bit ago in saying that the relationship ending put all of my hobbies on hold. That is a slight oversight because that's not exactly true. There is one hobby that did persist even in the midst of a very, very terrible heartbreak, and it was gaming. So I started getting into a game called Valorant, I want to say last August or so. I was really getting into this game because my then partner at the time was getting ready to go to college, whereas I don't start college until September 20-something, the middle of September. So I was looking for ways to keep myself busy. I think I was seeing YouTube ads for it. And I was like, you know what, like I've seen that YouTube ad a couple times, let me go ahead and download this game and just see like how it runs, see how I feel about it, and yeah. So Valorant is a 5v5 like first-person shooter game, and really the only other first-person shooter game that I actually ever played was like COD back in the days. Like I was obsessed with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2 too, but Black Ops 3 was really where I was really into FPS games. So I was excited to see what Valorant was about, because I was like, oh cool, an FPS game, it's online, it's free. I didn't want to pay a lot of money for a game on PC, so I was like, alright, let me just see what this game is about. Me downloading that game and just seeing was literally the best thing that I could have done for myself at that time and now. Alright, quick intermission to say that I think I'm getting ready to be done with this first part. It's a pretty light purple. It honestly matches the naked part of the book pretty well. Like obviously this is darker, but it really like complements it is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I ended up downloading Valorant and playing sometime in August of last year, and it really did stick. I love that game to this day. There's different servers for different regions of the United States for Valorant, and I didn't realize that when I first started the game because I was a total noob at it. And I actually started playing the game on Texas servers, whereas I was in California. Starting playing the game on Texas servers was probably the best thing, the best happy accident, I could say, that happened because I actually met some really nice people on Texas servers. So obviously they all live in Texas, playing this game. And I don't know if I'm going to share this video with them, but if you guys, you know who I'm talking about, if you guys happen to see this video, just know I love you, and I'm very, very, very grateful for you all because you guys have definitely helped me through a really tough time, even though I don't really talk about it a lot. Yeah, honestly, I love it so much, and I'm probably gonna play after I end up recording, or after I'm finished recording this video, so, but yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and paint this middle part, and then we'll move on to the final book. So yeah, we're down to the last book, Girls of Storm and Shadow, and honestly, this cover is pretty blue, so I think I'm just going to stick with these two blue shades and maybe just mix them. I'm running out of space with this paper plate, but let's see what we can do. Oh, I've actually never taken the dust jacket off of Girls of Storm and Shadow, and I forgot it has this really, really beautiful emblem in the middle of it, and I want to see actually. The same thing is for Girls of Paper and Fire. It's been so long since I've unsheathed this thing, and yes, it's the same. Oh, I love them. They're so pretty. I cannot wait for the third book in this series. Actually, talking about the third book in this series, I just googled it because I was like, okay, it's Girls of Something and Fury, right? It's Girls of Fate and Fury, and I actually just read, because I've been so out of the bookish circle, that it comes out in November! It comes out in November. Guys, this is the perfect timing for me to be making a comeback because you already know I did a reading vlog for Girls of Paper and Fire. I did not do a reading vlog for Girls of Storm and Shadow. However, I love this book just as much as the first one, and I should definitely finish the series by doing a reading vlog for Girls of Fate and Fury. So, look out for that coming to you to a booktube channel in November. Alright, so the very last thing that I wanted to talk about while I go ahead and paint this final book is the trip that I just took. So my best friend will probably see this video because she follows my bookish Instagram, so yes, I'm talking about you, Ellie, I love you. So my godmom ended up suggesting for me and my very best friend in this entire world to go on a girls trip. And we were like, okay, when should we do that? We were like, all right, let's do it late summer, like right before I'm getting ready to go back to Oregon. It'll be like the last big adventure of the summer. How we ended up at our specific destination is my best friend and I were texting and we're like, all right, so if we're gonna do this trip, where are we gonna go? So we were like, she's indecisive, I'm indecisive, so we're like, okay, somewhere in the United States, obviously. Where have we always wanted to go? Like, what state have we not been to, but we've always wanted to go? And we ended up going, like, on the count of 3, you know, you say a state and I'll say a state over text. So we go 1, 2, 3, and I kid you not, this is how much me and my best friend are like kindred spirits, soul sisters, whatever you want to call it. We both at the same time said New York. So we ended up in New York. Let's see, it's September 1st as I'm recording this. We were in New York for 5 nights, I believe. We were there from August 16th and came back the morning of August 21st. So it was almost a full week. And we had a freaking blast. Again, I can put up pictures on the screen or just link to my personal Instagram down below if you want to go check out like my highlights from the trip. But honestly, in those days, we did every touristy thing that you think about when you think about New York. So let's see, we got there on August 16th, which is a Monday. We flew in, it was probably evening by the time we got to JFK and then caught the subway to our hotel. And I was like, I don't care how tired we are, we're going out to eat, we're in New York, we just did a coast-to-coast trip. This is my first time in this city, I want to go out. So the first night we just went out to eat. I think it was at a place called the Smiths. And then after that, we walked to get ice cream at, God, I cannot pronounce the name, but I'll put it up on the screen where we got ice cream from. I got myself some vegan ice cream and it was really good. So our second day in New York was Tuesday, August 17th, and you guessed it, what do you think about? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of New York City? You think of the Statue of Liberty. Of course we had to see the Statue of Liberty while we were in New York City. Hello. So I think I made our reservation for around 11 a.m. So we got up, we had breakfast in our hotel, and we caught the subway to Battery Park, which is where you go if you're catching a ferry from New York to the statue, the island. It's called Liberty Island. We spent the afternoon on the island, took a bunch of pictures, went to the gift shop up there, and we both got matching t-shirts because we're dorks that just say NYC or something. Had lunch on Liberty Island, and then also by ferry you can go to Ellis Island, which is a nearby island. I think after we did the Statue of Liberty, we kind of just came back to our room, and I think we did shopping that day. We got new outfits at H&M, and we both loved the outfits that we got, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Alright, quick intermission to the story update. There are 2 sides of the book done. I do believe I need to touch up a little bit on this side. But yeah, third day in New York was Wednesday. That was the 18th, and the 18th was like the day that I was very, very like the most excited for in our whole itinerary for the trip. And we went and spent the entire day at the American Museum of Natural History. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I'm an environmental science major in college, so the American Museum of Natural History, like if you've never been there, it's where The Night of the Museum, like the movie, was filmed, so it's a pretty iconic place just for that. Animal exhibits from like marine to like terrestrial to dinosaurs to space to like all of the natural like sciencey things. And my heart just was soaring the entire day we were there. I love science. I've loved science ever since I was a little kid. That's why I'm majoring in science, and I specifically love natural science, like animals, plants, vegetation, all that kind of stuff. It just makes my heart sing. I adopted yet another stuffed animal. As you can see, I have so many. I did not need another one. But her name is Sophie. She is a leopard, and I guess let me just pick her up and show you. This is Sophie. She came from the American Museum of Natural History, and I love her so much. But yeah, like it's really hard to kind of describe the feeling that I get when I go into museums like that. as a kid, one of the places that we went for field trips a lot for school is the California Science Center. If you're familiar with that, it's kind of the same thing, whereas it's just like a museum where there's a bunch of like natural and also like man-made like science-y things, exhibits. But I used to love to go there as a kid, and I got this like fluttery feeling every single time I go because it's just so like thrilling and so mesmerizing to me to talk and learn about sciencey things. So I got that same feeling as I used to get when I was like in 6th or 7th grade in New York. I would highly recommend going if you ever get a chance to go. Especially if you're a natural science lover like I am, because it's just so cool. And all right, we're making progress. We're almost done here, so I need to hurry along the story and talk about the other 2 days. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, we didn't really have a plan. We only had something planned, a reservation for the evening. So Thursday morning we got up leisurely, got ready. We spent like an hour and a half or so in Central Park. We caught the subway from our hotel and we went to Central Park, and we both brought books with us for travel reads. So we were reading in Central Park like the bookworms that we are. I was reading Educated by Tara Westover, and I love that book. I read it throughout the duration of our trip and I finished it. I love that book, but I am very, very deeply disturbed by the events that take place in it. Definitely shocking. Definitely could see why people were freaking out towards the end of that book. So yeah, that was an interesting reading experience. It was a perfect reading experience for like a 12-hour round trip flight, you know, 6 hours there, 6 hours back. But on Thursday we read in Central Park, and then in the evening we did a skyline observation deck. It was called the Top of the Rock. I think it's in Rockefeller Center. And basically at like 6 p.m. we went up 70 floors and got to take pictures of the skyline. Alright, and I'm done painting this, so I need to wrap this up. But basically Friday, the last full day that we had in New York, we ended up just catching a subway to Brooklyn. We walked the Brooklyn Bridge. That was all good. We went to Dumbo, which stands for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. We got the iconic shot where everybody likes to take pictures down in Dumbo. So we had an excellent time in New York. It was such a great way to end my summer, to have one last hurrah before I get back to the basics of school and studying and getting ready to finish this bachelor's degree that I have spent the last 4 years on, which is crazy to me to say. Like, I swear I was just getting ready to go up to Oregon for the first time and leave all my family and all of my friends. I can't believe that was in 2018. That sounds foreign. And yeah, I guess I've kind of gone full circle because I'm done and we are kind of up to the present day. I'm getting ready to go back to school. Alright, so here's the finished product of this book Edges painting session. I think I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry for a little bit, and I'm gonna go over all 3 of the books one more time just to make sure that it all looks cohesive, and then I will show you all the finished product. My camera just gave me a warning that I have 10% battery left, so I finished this video just in time, so I'm sorry if this outro is kind of rushed, but there you have it. You just saw the final product of all of the books. I'm very happy with how all of the colors turned out, especially this blue for Girls of Storm and Shadow, just like mwah, chef's kiss. I love this purple. The mixing of colors worked very well. I think it very much complements the purple cover of the book. Same with this one, and same with Fat Chance Charlie Vega. Even the orange, even though it doesn't exactly match the red-orange tint of the cover, it does pretty well. But anyway, thank you all so much for sitting and listening to me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and I will see you all on the channel next Sunday. Bye, everybody.